Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Really excited to have this guest with us tonight. We have Byron Reaves, coordinator of programs for student success at Santa Rosa Junior College, the Petaluma campus.
Yep.
So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
It took a year and a half easily to get him to do this interview, but it's worth it because he was doing the work to support the students that look like you and me. So we can wait. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Byron, tell the lovely people a little bit about yourself
Sure.
and the work you do.
Yeah, I am the coordinator of student success programs at Santa Rosa Junior College. I also coordinate our Moja program. Moja is a statewide learning community primarily for African American students, and I'm teaching now, and so my role is expanded and all around making all students successful, but knowing that if you play a primary focus on African American students, you fix the black problem, you fix a lot of problems, right? And so that's where a lot of my work is providing, looking at the student holistically and providing some type of resources and some kind of motivational and empowerment for students to really see that goal line and do everything we can to get them there. And so you let the student drive, but you navigate that student. You let that student navigate the road themselves, adding the supports, giving some suggestions, and getting them to that finish line. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what brought you to the work,
Sure.
your why for this work.
Yeah, I think my why comes in a couple of different frames. I think one of the ways that I got to this work was just being an African American male, growing up without a real clear sense of what my goals were and what my path was. And so I was a high school athlete. I thought I would be in the NBA. That fell short when I realized I was 6'2" and slow. So college was the natural route, and I thought I could get a scholarship. Didn't take the SAT seriously because no one was in our community saying, "Hey, you should be doing this studying. You should be taking it 3 or 4 times." So I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, which is a really impoverished city. Is where Yale is at. But yeah, we just grew up in an environment that really wasn't conducive to success for people that look like us. And so, me lost in the college system, I was a partial student, whatever that meant,
Okay.
at Southern Connecticut State University, and I dropped out. I took a year off of school, decided I needed to get back in school, got back in school and dropped out again. And I went to HBCU for a year. I went to Livingstone College, and I found myself. I found my purpose. I found that I could really be a student, that I could think at a critical and high level, and that propelled me to seek out what was in the world for me. And so from there, I was a late bloomer. I probably started real college at 21, and from there, it took off. But still lost, right? Like it can take off for you, but you can still not know where the hell you're going, right? So you still need people in the passenger seat and behind you to tell you like, hey, you should be trying these paths or try this way. And then long story short, I fell into this profession of counseling. I went to the University of Bridgeport in Bridgeport, Connecticut, to get my master's in counseling, but I fell into that. I didn't know you need a master's degree. And so I went to the University of Bridgeport because I wanted to be a basketball coach. And they said pick a major, and I picked one. And I figured I wanted to work with college students. So I got a minor in college student personnel and a master's in counseling. And so I fell into the work of helping students, and I realized that if I had more support, more guidance, and more knowledge of systems, then I might be more successful, even more successful than where I was at that point. And so I got hired at Gateway Community College in New Haven, Connecticut. Realized that community college is really where I find students who are were in the same mindset as me, who had kind of been deprived by K through 12 system. And so those are the students that really needed really embedded support. My first job was in student conduct. And so you can imagine the changing dynamics with students coming in with new problems, right? Old problems that we experienced when we went through high school, and then a changing dynamic of the world with social media, the advent of social media. And so I found myself training a lot of the faculty and staff on how to engage with our students who seemed like they were trouble, but they really weren't. They were misunderstood, and they came from a really broken system. My dean there was a really progressive, innovative person. A year into my position, he left, and he came to Santa Rosa Junior College. He called me. I said, I'm going to apply for everything, and I did, and I ended up getting a job here. And so, for the most part, again, my journey's kind of driven me to be here with you today, but it's also been a realization that we have to fix what's happening in K through 12, because when they show up to campus, they're broken from a lot that's what happened to them. And we're spending a lot of time in community colleges trying to fix students. So we see a 4 to 5 year graduation rate for some African American students, and it's even the achievement gap and graduation gap and completion gap. African American male students is even larger. It's almost 4 to 7 years to get an associate's degree.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, so we're really in a critical moment in time right now where we really have to start paying attention and start fixing broken systems and getting to the source. Not using Band-Aids, right? But it's time to do surgery.
Right. So you hit on like boom, 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 a couple key points, and my mind was going. You said fix the black problem.
Yeah.
Broken K through 12 system.
Yeah.
Showing up misunderstood. A lot of my work, I focus on like age 3 to grade 3, this pre-K to prison pipeline, the achievement gap, prisons using third grade literacy scores to know how many prisons or prison beds to build.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, what are the disparities, because we see them easily in the pre-K-12 system, but what are the disparities with the African American students and the white students or other students in post-secondary school?
Sure.
Within the context of understanding that systemic racism is real, and a lot of institutions and spaces weren't designed to support black students from preschool all the way up to post-secondary school.
Excuse me, I think you hit it right on the head, right? The system is perfectly designed to receive the results that we're receiving, right? And so, I mean, you are doing really critical work. I appreciate that work. And so when they get to me, I'm almost positive that our data is almost the same. And I heard something today is that our students, whether they're entering college or whether they are entering kindergarten or first grade or second grade, our students are not opposed to education, but they're entering a system that's opposed to them. And
Where's the lie? Where's the lie?
Right? And so until we start to look at our systems, we're going to continue to see these large gaps, and the black males continue to be misunderstood, because we're showing up in the spirit of opposition and not with ourselves. Is how the system sees us, right? And so that's what happens when the student walks into class with the hoodie, with the headphones, that student's not being defiant, and we've been trained, even us as we went to college graduates, we've been trained to look at the student through a critical lens, but the perspective is from a
white supremacy culture. If they don't dismantle it,
right, and it's forced us, and I'm guilty of it. We're guilty of having that perspective because our whole education has been around being white conformity, right? And so instead of being told to be yourself and find yourself, we're told to conform, to code switch, because we were our primary state is survival, right? And so what I see with college students is that they're trying to survive. And as educators, we have to choose. Are we teaching our students to survive, or are we teaching our students to go towards freedom? And at that point, it's actually both. It's this blind, like, it's scary, right? It's like you want them to fight for freedom and what's right, and have the audacity to say, this is for me, and this is what I want to do. But you also know that their body could be hurt, right? And so I look to Between the World and Me and Tallahassee Coates when he talks about how fragile the body is, and how do we begin to repair that when they come in broken families, from a system that's taking away dads from families, right? I don't know, I don't want to go too deep into it, but I guess what I'm trying to say is when they show up to me, they're experiencing some of the same things that they're experiencing when they show up to kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, because we haven't fixed the system. And so they are open to more, I shouldn't say open, they're more exposed to instructors and pedagogy and curriculum that might favor their particular outlook, but that's rare because the faculty don't look like them, and even when they do, sometimes they don't have the same experiences, or they've had to survive through so much white perspective of the white conformity that they end up being so far from where the students are.
Oh my goodness.
And so for us, and for me in my work, is really trying to break down survival and talk about freedom.
Well, this is beautiful. This conversation could go on forever.
Yeah.
I want to honor your time.
Sure.
In honoring the great philosopher Ermias, Nipsey Hussle, the great Askazam, the marathon continues. How can people reach out to you or connect with you if they want to know more? Like, wow, the data looks similar to what we're seeing.
Sure.
Pre-K to third grade and post-secondary. So
Sure.
if people want to connect or have questions or anything like that, how can you be contacted?
Yes, well, if you are a great friend of Crystal on LinkedIn, that's an awesome way. You can also email me at B, and it's REAVES at santarosa.edu. And I also have to have a shameless plug. I am also part of a consulting group that talks about diversity, and so we've been to law firms and different campuses to talk about what diversity looks like in the workplace. So, if your company or campus or school would like some equity workers to come and talk about freedom, we can do that too. So, same way.
So it's B. Reaves at
santarosa.edu.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having it.
Absolutely.
And you do amazing work, so let's support the sister.
So thank you. Reach out to Byron if you have questions, and please continue to do your work as we support children, families, dismantle white supremacy culture, do all to benefit the people that look like us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.